In today's video I will be making feathers, and I will be using scissors, paper tape, twist ties, pen, paintbrush, carving tool, and silicone tool. I'm using some reference for make these feathers. I using this twist tie and for make the middle of the feather, which is gonna be like the bane of the feather. And also I have this paper tape that I will be using to attach this to the twist ties and make the feathers. So as you see right now, I'm just going to start twisting these paper types, and I will be kind of like recreating that bang in the middle. That's going to help me a lot when I start putting the paper tape in top of this twist tie. So I'm going to be working on this for each one. Just try to remember that you will be making different size of feathers. The first one, which is the ones that are kind of like at the beginning of the wing, will be the small ones, and then you are going to be kind of like making bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger till you get to the end of the feather. So that's why I'm using this paper, which is kind of like a guide that I have. So I will be looking and see how the feathers are being attached in the wing. So it's gonna give you like an idea what you are making. Now that I have all my twist tie covered on this paper tape, I'm going to start making each feather, which is I'm going to start with the small one, and then I'm going to start making the middle one, and then the last one. In this case, I'm just making these 3 feathers that are in my reference. So this is what I'm going to be making. But if you are going to be working on the bead wings, you should be making all the feathers at the same time, so you will be having like about 20. That's what I have in each wing that I make. Later on you will be seeing the product that I have. In the end of the video, you will see my wings, and each wing have 20 feathers. So basically what I'm doing is kind of like just painting the feather first in this paper tape, and then using my scissors and start cutting the area that I'm not going to be using, and just making the feather. Once I have all my feathers ready, I'm going to get a piece of clay and just using the setting number 1 on my pasta roller, and just roll the clay through my pasta roller and get this piece of clay, which is I'm going to start putting some bacon bound on each feather, and just start attaching that to the clay that I have already in my table. So what I'm going to do now is putting this glue on each feather in one side, and once I finish with all the feathers that I have in my table, I will start cutting that with my cutter. You can use a scissor if you prefer, but I'm just using like a nice cutter and paper cutter, and that's gonna be helping me a lot for take off this from this clay. After that I finish with this, I will be taking another piece of clay that I'm going to roll in the setting number 1 as well, and I'm going to do the other side of the feather. So just make sure that you take off all the air bubbles that are like inside between in between the tape and the clay, and the layer of glue that you put always have some bubbles, so just take off all that bubble from there, so you will be making sure that this is not gonna explode or break inside the oven. That's what I'm kind of like doing right now. So with my second piece of clay, I'm just going to attach the feathers to that clay, cut it, and after I cut it, I'm going to start taking off all the bubbles that are inside that. So just making sure that I don't have nothing inside the clay, in between the clays and the feather. Once I have my feathers ready, I'm going to be using two tools. The first one will be the silicone tool. That one is gonna help me for making the middle of the feather, and then I will be using a carving tool. That carving tool is the one that is gonna be helping me to make each line in the feather. And right now I'm going to be getting my silicone tool and start working from the top to the bottom, and start kind of like making that line there, so it's gonna be creating that like middle, and it's gonna be the main part of the feather. So just remember, start working with a soft pressure there, and then start kind of like blending everything there. Don't kind of like push too much the clay. You don't want to break it or something. Just work through that, okay? You have to do this twice, in one side and then in the other side. So for the other side, what I'm doing right now is using that kind of like foam that I have there. Is a nice surface that I have, is kind of like making that the other side is not getting like plain, or is not losing the texture. And after I do this, I'm going to start using my other carving tool, and that carving tool is the one that is going to be creating the texture in the feather. Start working from the middle to the edge of the feather in a wavy pattern. That's gonna give you that look that we are looking for. That is kind of like a feather. Like, let me show you this more close, so you can see what I'm doing. And as I say, work from the middle to the edge, and just kind of like twist the tool in a wavy pattern. So this is how looks the feathers once we texture each one. Now what I'm doing is getting the paintbrush. This one is really hard, so I'm just kind of like brushing the feathers from the middle to the end, and that's gonna give you like a real look in each feather. It's gonna help you to make more small lines in between the lines that you already create, and also it's gonna make your the appearance more feathery. And here we are. This is the feathers. I hope that you like it. This is how I make my feathers. Um, if you have any other ideas how to make these feathers, I will be so happy in hear that. But this so far, this is what is working for me right now, and I'm really happy with that. Hope that you enjoyed the video. I will show you the picture of the wings. Um, I have this on Facebook. I hope that you like it and enjoy the video. You have a good day.